Hey, it's Ben. I wanted to come on today and talk about an app I'm co-founding with my partner on this, Kazim Hussein. And I think it's going to be so helpful for you if you are somebody who is looking to create massive momentum in your work and in your life. Now, hands down, momentum is the most powerful force if it's leveraged correctly. And I say this all the time, momentum creates weeks to build and days to lose. It's a fragile force and it needs your careful attention, especially as a business owner, as someone who's trying to progress in life, someone who wants to make big things happen. You need to have momentum on your side. If you think about this, and I often had this frustration, I was in my fitness world, I would go out, I would do a 5K really hard, maybe twice a week. And I would push myself really, really hard and I would get injured. And I'd repeat this pattern for months on end when I first started running again. And I'd look at all the people who were miles ahead of me, who were seemingly like way, way more, having way better performances than me. And I used to compare myself to them. I was like, how come they are so much further ahead than me? And I regarded myself as a talented runner. And I actually really had to check in on this. And it's because I had no momentum. They had the compound effect of taking daily actions for years. And I was this stop-start, get in my own way, get injured athlete at the time. And I was frustrated. And I was like, hang on a second, I need to really create some momentum in this arena. And it's exactly the same in business. I remember when I ran my gym, I would send regular daily emails out for years. And it wasn't until maybe 2 to 3 years in when someone would come to the gym and say, hey, by the way, I've been reading your emails for 2 to 3 years. And they are the things that got me to this point where I'm ready to come and transform my body. I felt so ill-informed, ashamed, frustrated, worried about joining the gym. But it's actually reading your emails that got me to the point where I really want to come and train. And that's the point, is that sometimes we neglect the compound interest of doing something consistently, small, and frequently that actually has a huge payout in the end. And I remember I had many occasions where I'd send an email out to my list and I would have 2 to 3 people sign up. And it wasn't because of the efforts that had gone in maybe the day before. It was the weeks, months, quarters, years of communication that I had invested in them. So momentum is important and it's one of the forces that we absolutely need to leverage. Now, the biggest problem we have, especially as people who really crave success and performance and the things that we really want to achieve in life, we measure often against the wrong object. We measure against our ideals instead of our actual progress. Now, what I mean by this is that so many people that I've worked with in the past, the reason that they are constantly in a scarce place where they're not getting the results they want is that they are constantly measured against this ideal that keeps moving. It's like this moving goalpost of success and happiness. I'll be happy when I get to 100,000. I'll be happy when I get to 1 million. I'll be happy when I get to the CEO position. And when they get there, they're not happy because they've moved the goalpost. And that, Sean Achor talks about this in depth in the happiness advantage. And I really like this kind of insight that if you're constantly measuring against your ideals, you're always going to be in the lack. You're always going to be in the gap. And throughout my work with clients in body transformation, transforming businesses and going 10x, I've noticed that the best thing that we can do is the smallest thing we can also do is measure one win every single day, one thing that's gone really, really well. I noticed that I tried loads of different things, journals, physical journals, and what I've created with Kazim is something that where you can log one win a day and actually reflect on that win. And I think that the big part of this, and I'm going to go into this in a bit more depth in a second, is that you record a win and then you actually reflect on that win. And that's like mining for gold and then melting that gold down for something that's useful. It gives it context. Now, sometimes when you write a win down in a journal, and I think more and more people are doing this now. When you write a win in a journal, it has value. Like I spent time with my kids. I stopped work at 5. I went to bed on time for a whole week. I ran my first marathon. I made it past my first 7 figures. Whatever your goal is, That's great, but what's even better and going that little bit deeper is giving that win context and meaning. Now that's where it really starts to, you really start to squeeze the juice from this process, is really contextualizing that win. And that's what we've built into the app itself. Now, here's another struggle that I often see when people start to do this process of self-development, is that we're not used to self-coaching. I'm quite lucky that I've been coached since I was, 12 years old. I've had performance coaches, psychological coaches, I've had mentors, I've been in masterminds. So I've always been exposed to good questions. Yet some of us never had that level of coaching. So when it comes to writing in our win journal and reflecting, it's hard, it's frustrating. It's like, actually, what does how do I really reflect on this? So we've also built in a system to help you do that. And that will help you 10x the value of what you're writing down in that journal every single day. It will help you build massive momentum. Now, here's the third thing. The third thing that I've really got into probably over the last, I would say I've done it sporadically, probably over the last 10 years. Over the last year, with diligence, every Friday, I've actually moved it to Saturday now, I reflect and reframe the week. Now, that was such a big, important thing for me. I read The Gap in the Game by Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. I really got into the work with Sean Aker's stuff. I'm really kind of looking at happiness and what makes someone flourish. There was so much about, Kazim actually studied with, Kazim took a lot of Tal Ben-Shahar's insights and the guys that he's working with. And we came together and we built this system where you started to look at your week and look back and reframe all the things that are valuable to you in 4 different arenas. There's 3 plus other, which was business, which was health, and which was relationships. And just by looking back over the week and reframing and telling yourself a different story about the things that have gone well in your life, you start to view your past as an asset instead of a liability. Now, so many of us struggle in our lives because we look back over the weeks and we feel like they've been a liability. They've hindered us. We haven't done as much as we wanted to. All we can see is the lack of progress. And what we wanted to do is help people create momentum by reframing that on a weekly basis. So what we've done is we've created just a small page in the app where you can use it as a journal and you can just reflect on the week and just take 3 snapshots plus anything other that doesn't fall into those buckets very easily that helps you start to reframe your past. And in development at the moment, we've also got the future as well. We've also going to have a 1-pager where you can design your future, and that'll be out in the next week or so. Kazim, if you're watching this, that's your kick to do that. Because what I think that what happens is when you can review the month that's just gone and then forecast for the next month, a 1-page document where you're forced to keep it within 1 page is really helpful. And I actually looked back over, say, my 4 or 5 1-pages over the last couple of months, and I realized how much progress I'd made. And actually, I really felt differently about how much personal momentum I had and how confident I felt about the future. Now, I don't think a lot of people have that facility. I know there's various things that can help you with that, but I think that building that out is going to be so helpful for you if you're looking to build momentum in your life and your work. And it's something that's super easy to access. It's free. And we want to build a community of people that want to create momentum. And the only thing that's going to help you do that is, I think the only thing that you have to do to be part of that community is share a daily win. Like, how cool is that? It's like that's the qualifier. it's open the app every single day, which sometimes can be a struggle. Like, honestly, sometimes I even forget to open the app and write a win down. But that's where momentum is different. It actually gives you points for your comeback strength, because I really found this really difficult in other apps where you would build a streak, and then once you lost that streak, I would feel frustrated for weeks. I was like, oh yeah, I got up to 3 weeks where I shared a win every single day. I missed a day, and then my score went back to 0. And for me, that wasn't helpful. Like that actually it actually put me off going back in the app. It felt like I'd lost all momentum on a one single day. Whereas what we've done is the algorithm in the app scores your momentum score by how fast you can get back writing your daily win. This is really helpful for you if you're like me and you like to keep moving forwards with strong momentum. I've actually had 3 or 4, big comebacks where I've got to like 3 or 4 weeks, missed a day, and then I've come back really strong because we're imperfect as humans. We're going to have those days where we miss, but at the same time, we shouldn't lose all momentum because we miss one day. Momentum, and like I said, it takes weeks to build, but can be lost in days. So what do you need to do to be able to access this? The link to the Momentum app is going to be attached to this video. Please feel free to go and just click it, log in. I'm going to show you around the app in a second, and then you can look at all the bits. It's super self-explanatory. Currently, what I'm going to be doing is adding in communications from myself. So I'm actually just written 5 emails to explain extensively how to use each part of the app. It's super simple. We tried to make it so simple that a 10-year-old could use it. Like jokes aside, 10-year-old could use it so that a 10-year-old could use it, because I remember working with a client, and one of the biggest things that she had in terms of a breakthrough whilst we were working together, she was building personal momentum because we were really helping her see how far she had come, but she started doing that with her daughter as well. It's so important for kids to recognize their wins and their movement forwards. It builds massive confidence, and I definitely recommend using it with children as well. So let me just share my screen and share inside the app right now. Here we go. Okay, so I've just got a test account here, and when you log in, this is your first screen. So log one thing about today. So I did a live recording about the Momentum app. Okay, so I logged that win, and then all we have to do is just reflect on that win. So tap on there, and then it asks you to reflect on this. Like, how did this win impact me? Well, actually, what is doing this recording, what's doing this live doing for me right now? It's helping move project forwards, and it's sharing the power of momentum. Because I believe that a big part of what I do as a coach is help people get into momentum. Sometimes people come to me and they've got a part of their life they want to improve, a part of their business they want to transform, and they've got no momentum in that area. So what I do is I help them put the structures, the support, the thinking in place to help that part exponentially grow, just grow by 10x. So in terms of this project, sharing this live stream today is one step in a series of steps that's going to help us grow that community of people that want to build massive personal momentum. So how did this one make me feel? Energized and a save reflection. Now, if you haven't got that ability just to share on how it impacted you, you can click need a prompt. And this is exactly the same on a phone, by the way. What obstacles did you overcome to achieve this win? Well, it could be a technical issue. It could be that I didn't feel confident to go and do live stream. It could be that there was all sort of nonsense in my head that I believed I should do a recording and put it on my podcast. And I saw on top of Riverside, I was like, do it live? I was like, yes, let's go and do that. Who helped make this possible? Riverside. Okay, but what it does, and you start to read back over these things, and it does give you massive, massive personal confidence. Okay, and then how does this win make you feel? It helps you attach emotions to these wins as well, and you click Save Reflection. And what that does is it banks all of the June wins there. So that's what's really helpful about it. But here's another thing I was going to show you. This is where you can access the weekly journal. And as we build the Momentum app, and as we build the community, we're going to make this simpler. We're going to give it more simple steps. The only thing we want to add is the one pager and the quarterly reflection. And those two things are going in at the moment. So step by step. So this is where you get to reflect on the week. And I've actually moved it. I was doing it on a Friday, but I find it easier on a Saturday now because I complete Friday and then review my week on a Saturday. And then on a Sunday, I forecast for the next week. That's kind of my personal momentum structure right now. So I write my business wins. I might write my relationship wins. I write my health wins, and I shout out about anything else that's going really well in my life. And I build that personal piggy bank of momentum, of wins, of things that I'm acknowledging about my life that is helping me move forwards. And that is probably why I have massive confidence when I go into any endeavor, any challenge. I actually had one of my clients text me this morning and call me out. I said, you've got a much stronger mindset than me. And he called me out. He said, listen, you've got the strongest mindset I've ever seen in anyone. You're resilient. You approach your goals. You attack everything you need to. And I actually had to take a step back, and I was like, why do I have that? It's because I do this. I don't just talk about it. I do it. I've definitely done it in different forms, but I've always done this. And I think what's going to help you and me as we go through this process is that as you start to really do this, you get better at doing it as well. I looked at a lot of the people who had written wins, and I said, what was the reason you stopped? Oh, I didn't feel like it helped me. I didn't see the point in it. They'd logged one win. They'd logged 3 days. Like, this isn't for someone who wants to log a win and feel better straight away. It's an investment in your future self. So anyway, say that and continue. And then you've got them every single week. You'll have a weekly reflection journal. And then what we're going to be building is a monthly reflection where you can rewrite your month. Now, rewriting your past is so powerful for how effective you use your past as a tool to impact your future. So I highly recommend doing this. Like, even if you don't use the momentum app, get yourself a journal. But what I wanted to create was the structure that would help you do this. So like I said, that's going to give you a tour around the app. I hope you found this helpful. What I think would be really, really good is like take immediate action. If you've got, the link's going to be attached to this video as soon as the live stream ends. Equally, it'll be on the page if you're watching it on the page where I'm sharing about momentum. Take immediate action, click in, join it. It's totally free. We will be emailing you some of the stuff that will help you get better at building momentum. And I can guarantee if you do this, commit to this for 30 to 90 days, you will see exponential shifts in your confidence, your productivity, your effectiveness, and generally how you view your past. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you are interested in having a look around the app, click on the link, log in, log your first win straight away. And then what I've been doing, and I think this is something I'm going to build into the app, is I put it in my calendar to remind me twice a day to log a win. It's actually an event in my calendar at the start of the day and at the end of the day. It really does help. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again.